The Tennessee Titans have one of the most interesting and one of the most confusing quarterback situations in the entire NFL after trading up to draft a quarterback in back-to-back years. What are they doing? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scott Procter, and this right here, this is what I like to call Procter's point of view. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment and subscribe, and stay tuned to the end for an NFL team with the ideal quarterback situation. If you do comment, make sure you stay tuned for a future episode because that comment could be featured in a later video. But let's get to the topic today, which is the Tennessee Titans, who did what no team in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft evidently wanted to do a couple weeks ago, and that was draft Will Levis out of Kentucky, the quarterback with the 33rd overall pick. Tennessee gave up second-round pick, 2 third-round picks to move up 8 spots, and in exchange, the Titans got another project quarterback. It was just 1 year ago when the Titans made a similar move during the 2022 NFL Draft by trading up to draft Liberty quarterback Malik WIllis. While Willis obviously is much more dual threat than Levis, Willis, again, just like Levis, is another project quarterback. But Willis, he struggled a little bit as a rookie, obviously going 1-2 as a starter, completed just 51% of his passes, throwing 0 touchdowns to 3 interceptions before being benched late in the season for Joshua Dobbs, who Tennessee literally picked up off the street mid-season. The dynamic of Levis and Willis is weird enough, but there's also veteran quarterback Ryan Tannehill, who took over as the Titans starter back in 2019 mid-season. Tannehill has led Tennessee to a respectable 36-19 regular season record since then, but back-to-back home losses in the divisional round of the playoffs in 2020 and then in 2021 ultimately led to the drafting of Malik Willis. This scenario truly, when you think about it, is kind of eerily similar to the 49ers quarterback situation last season. They had a veteran quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, who the franchise ideally wanted to move on from, and they did. That's Ryan Tannehill in this scenario. The 49ers also traded up to draft a dual-threat quarterback in Trey Lance, who has struggled at times. There's Malik Willis. And, of course, the 49ers drafted another quarterback last year in Brock Purdy just a year after trading up for one. That's obviously now Will Levis. The main difference between these two scenarios is that the 49ers roster is loaded, and they can actually afford to experiment a little bit with the quarterback position. The Titans, on the other hand, they're just not. They're on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to talent on both sides of the ball. That's why whoever ends up being the Titans starter this season, whether it be Tannehill, Levis, or Willis, they're not exactly set up for success. And more importantly, as the saying goes, and I can attest to this as a former quarterback, if you have 2 quarterbacks, or even if you have 3 quarterbacks, you really have this many. You really got none. Tannehill is obviously currently the starter according to head coach Mike Vrabel, and he should be to begin this season. But Tannehill went just 6-6 last season as a starter. And to be honest, I don't think he's recovered from throwing 3 interceptions in the divisional round loss to Cincinnati 2 seasons ago. He's also Tannehill we're talking about. He's 34 years old with 2 voidable years remaining on his contract. So the Titans' future is not likely to involve him. Malik Willis, he's obviously still needs time to develop, but finding a potential trade suitor might be the best path for Tennessee, similar to what San Francisco might be currently doing with one Trey Lance. And then it leaves Will Levis, who just has to be the savior in this messy situation. There's really no other way around it, much like Brock Purdy was for San Francisco last season. But can Will Levis do it? We'll have to see, man. But with the other rookie quarterbacks now in the division with Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Anthony Richardson, the Titans gamble on one Will Levis. It better pay off. But from one not exactly ideal quarterback situation to one that very is ideal, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, who obviously just paid a boatload of money to their franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts, but the rest of that quarterback room is pretty solid. Obviously, we know what Hurts brings to the table, but their backup now is Marcus Mariota, who obviously spent last season as a starter for Atlanta before one rookie Desmond Ridder took over. And actually, Marcus Mariota, speaking of the Tennessee Titans, Titans fans know him pretty well. That's a solid backup for somebody like Jalen Hurts. As we saw last year when Jalen Hurts missed a couple games, Gardner Minshew was the guy as the backup, and the Eagles struggled a little bit offensively without that dual threat ability from the quarterback position. Mariota brings that. Also, the Eagles made a sneaky good pickup late in the draft this year by drafting quarterback Tanner McKee out of Stanford, who could really turn into a good pro. But Jalen Hurts is the man. No need to worry about that. But that's one loaded quarterback room and one that the Titans certainly should strive for. But that's going to do it for us. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling about the Titans, their quarterback situation. Who should be the guy? Who should be the starter? Let us know. Drop a like, drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe, most importantly. We'll catch you tomorrow right here, Procter's POV. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bbmsports.com.